Alright, so in the previous tutorial, we created an in-game clock and calendar system using Python, Tkinter, and CQCalendar. And as you can see, it's pretty basic. It just uses, the basic months, January through December, the basic weekdays, Monday through Sunday, and like the basic moon phases. And so that's good if you're making like your typical game or project. So if you're making a fantasy project, you may want the calendar to be more fantasy focused or more lore accurate to your game world or project world. And so to kind of get around that, in this tutorial, we're going to customize the calendar system by adding custom months, custom weekdays, and custom moon phases. Before getting started, we have to either install or upgrade the CQCalendar library. So if you're installing CQCalendar for the first time, you want to open your command prompt here and type in pip install CQCalendar. Or if you already have it installed, you'll want to enter pip install CQCalendar -- upgrade. So we're going to start off from what we coded in the last tutorial. So if you want that code, all you have to do is go to this video right here. And in the comment section, you'll see that I have the code posted. So just copy this, copy. Then you'll just open a new .py file and then paste it. So you'll want to just quickly run the code and make sure everything is working. So you should be able to play. And you should be able to change how fast time continues. So 5, 15, and then 60, okay? So by default, CQCalendar uses the standard 12 months. So, January through December. But you can change that by passing in your own list of months. So above where the CQCalendar is initialized here, we'll go ahead and create our own months here. So we'll do months equal to an empty list. Now inside that list, we're going to use a dictionary to define each month. So first, we're just going to set the month's name. So inside of here, we'll do a dictionary. We'll do name as the key, and then the name of the first month. So I'll just do Morning Star. And next, we'll set how many days are in a month. So the next key is going to be days. And I want this to have 31 days. So that's all you need to define a custom month. Now you can go in and add as many months as you like. So for me personally, I'll just add 2 more. So just copy this. And so the second month name is going to be Sun's Dawn. And the third month's name is going to be First Seed. And then I'll just change the second month's days here to 28. So the final step is to pass the months list into CQCalendar. So down here underneath moon phase, we'll just do months is equal to months. All right. So we'll just run it real quick. All right. So now as before we had January, now we have our new month here, Morning Star. Okay, so the next step is to add custom weekdays. So you can replace CQCalendar's default weekdays by passing in a custom list, similar to how we did with the months. So underneath the custom months list, we're going to create a weekdays list. So we'll do weekdays is equal to an empty list. And now in order to define a custom weekday, all you have to do is enter the weekday's name into the list. So I'm going to replace Monday with Morndays, like that. And that's pretty much it. So again, you can add as many weekdays as you want. I'll just add 2 more to my calendar. So we'll do, for our second weekday, we're going to do Turdas. And then for the third one, we'll do Midas, okay? And now again, finally, we just have to pass the weekdays into CQCalendar. So underneath our months here, we'll do weekdays is equal to weekdays, like that, okay? Now if you run the code, you'll see that Monday has now been replaced with Morndays, and so our custom weekdays list will be used instead. All right, so just like with the months and weekdays, you can also customize the lunar cycle. So by default, the lunar cycle is about 29 days long, but you can change that by setting a specific variable, okay? So that variable is going to be called synodic month days, and that determines how long the lunar cycle is. So like I said, by default, it's about 29 days long. So for my calendar system, I want it to be 3 days long, okay? So next we're going to create a list that will store all of our custom moon phases. So we'll do moon underscore phases is equal to an empty list. So now we're going to use a dictionary to define each phase, starting with the name. So inside of here, we're going to define our first moon phase, dictionary, and name. And so we want our first, well, my first moon phase is going to be called blood moon. So I'm kind of creating like fantasy moon phases here. All right, so blood moon. And then we'll define when the phase starts and ends. So the start is the percentage of the total lunar cycle. So I want the blood moon to start at day 0. Okay, so now I have to define when I want this moon phase to end, right? So the total lunar cycle lasts 3 days, okay? And I plan on putting in 3 different moon phases, and I want each moon phase to last about 1 day. 1 day in my cycle is actually 33%. That's what I'm going to put for the ending. So I do 0, 33. So now the final thing I have to pass in is the hex color that I want the moon to be. So we color underscore hex, and then I'll just make it pure red. So we'll do hashtag FF0000. Okay, so CQCalendar doesn't actually visualize the moon phases. So this value right here is really just metadata for you to use in your own rendering logic. But in the next tutorial, we'll cover how to combine CQCalendar with the MoonTex library to handle moon phase visualization. And in fact, I'll just give you some examples of some of the moon images that can be generated with MoonTex real quick. So here they are. So now that we have the first moon phase defined, we can go in and add as many phases as we want, but I'll just add 2 more. So we have a blood moon, and so I'll make this a gamma moon. So, and so I want this to last 1 day after the blood moon. So we'll have it start at 33%, and then we'll have it end at 66. Okay. And then we'll change the color from red to green. Okay. And now for my final moon, I'll do a, I'll do an ice moon. So we have ice moon. And again, we want this to start 1 day after the gamma moon. So we'll have it start at 66. And then we'll just have this end at 1. And then we'll change the color from green to blue. Okay. Okay, so the last step is to pass the synodic month days and the moon phases into CQCalendar. So we'll just go down here. And then since the new moon phase isn't included in our new lunar cycle, we'll have to just get rid of that parameter right there so it won't cause issues. Okay. So underneath our weekdays, we'll pass in synodic. So synodic underscore month underscore days is equal to synodic underscore month underscore days. Then we'll pass in our moon phases. So moon underscore phases is equal to moon underscore phases. All right, so as you can see, we were able to override the standard months with our own month system, the standard weekdays with our own weekdays, and then the standard lunar cycle with our own custom moon phases here. So that's pretty much it for this video, and thank you for watching.